Chapter 6, Wave Interference. How Trades Sculpt Market Structure. Price does not move because of a trend line, a pattern, or a candle. Price moves because each trade is a force, and every force creates a ripple, a disturbance that interacts with countless other disturbances. The market is not a line chart. It is a fluid dynamic system, closer to a lake struck by thousands of stones than to a mathematical graph. In this chapter, we reveal how waves form, how they interfere with one another, and how these interactions create the fractal market structure that technical analysts try to decode. This chapter is not about patterns. It is about the physics behind patterns. 1. Every trade is a wave. A single buy or sell is not data. It is a mass event, a directional push, an injection of energy into the system. Just as a stone dropped into water produces a circular wave, a trade produces a pulse that expands outward into the market's liquidity environment. Small trades create small waves. Large trades create distortions that bend the entire surrounding price landscape. Most traders do not think this way. They imagine price as the output of an algorithm. In reality, price is the surface tension of an ocean being hit by millions of energy sources simultaneously. 2. When waves meet, they do not add, they interfere. Wave interference is one of the most misunderstood concepts in market behavior. There are 3 types. Constructive interference. When multiple trades align in direction and energy, their waves amplify one another. This produces strong trends, clean moves, impulsive legs. This is why high-volume moves look smooth. It isn't order. It's synchronized wave energy. Destructive interference. When opposing trades collide, their waves cancel out. This produces choppiness, sideways compression, failed breakouts. People think the market is undecided. It isn't undecided, it is experiencing wave collapse. Complex interference. When multiple waves across scales meet, the result is both pattern and chaos. This is the source of fractals, nested oscillations, false reversals, liquidity traps. Complex interference is the dominant state of the market, and also the hardest to read without understanding its physics. 3. Frequency, the hidden dimension of price movement. A wave is defined not just by its size, but by its frequency, how often it cycles. In markets, high frequency equals rapid microtrades. Low frequency equals large participants, slow positioning. When high-frequency waves overlay low-frequency waves, the market exhibits a behavior that technical traders often misinterpret as noise. But it is not noise. It is multi-frequency interaction, like overlapping sound waves. A trend is simply a dominant frequency overpowering the others. 4. Liquidity as the water in which waves travel. If trades are stones, liquidity is the lake. And just as a shallow lake reacts violently to a small stone, a thin liquidity environment reacts violently to even a modest trade. This explains why news spikes look extreme, why nights look choppy, why low liquidity assets move wildly. Liquidity is the medium that determines how waves propagate. Where liquidity is thick, waves dissipate slowly. Where liquidity is thin, waves explode. 5. The birth of a trend, wave synchronization. A trend is born when multiple frequencies align. Micro waves shift direction. Meso waves join. Macro waves begin to tilt. This synchronization process is what traders mistakenly see as confirmation. In reality, it is phase alignment, the same physics that creates resonance in acoustics or vibration in mechanical systems. When enough waves move together, the market enters a state of constructive dominance. Pullbacks become shallow. Momentum self-reinforces. Liquidity shifts to favor continuation. Trends are not random. They are organized wave structures. 6. The death of a trend, wave decoherence. Just as trends begin with wave alignment, they end with wave decoherence. This occurs when micro waves diverge. Volume imbalance appears. Liquidity pockets shift. Time cycles weaken. Volatility becomes asymmetrical. Think of a marching band losing rhythm. Each element still moves, but the unison is gone, and the structure collapses. Trend death is not reversal. Trend death is loss of coherence. Reversal comes only after a new dominant wave frequency takes over. 7. Why price looks fractal. Interference across scales. Fractals are simply the natural consequence of wave interactions across multiple frequencies. When waves of different sizes overlap, you get waves inside waves, impulses inside impulses, corrections inside corrections. This is why price movement at every scale is self-similar. The same physics operate at all levels, just with different magnitudes. The market is not fractal because of patterns. It is fractal because wave interference is fractal physics. 8. Volume, the fuel that controls wave amplitude. Wave amplitude, the height or depth of a wave, is determined by energy. In markets, that energy is volume. Volume is not an indicator. It is the physical mass of the system. High volume equals high amplitude. Low volume equals low amplitude. This is why time alone cannot move price. Time is linear, volume is energetic. 9. Reading wave interference, the analyst's real skill. A true technical analyst does not read candlesticks. He reads amplitude, frequency, wave decay, interference zones, liquidity resonance, imbalance pressure, bifurcation probability. He sees the chart not as a price series but as a dynamic interference map. This is the difference between amateur and master. Amateurs see patterns. Masters see forces. 10. Chapter Summary. This chapter introduced the physical foundation of market structure. Trades generate waves. Waves interact through constructive, destructive, and complex interference. Liquidity is the medium that shapes wave behavior. Trends form through wave synchronization and die through decoherence. Fractals emerge naturally from multi-frequency interference. Volume determines wave energy. Reading the market means reading wave physics, not patterns. This chapter is a turning point in the book. You now understand the surface tension of the market, not the drawings, but the forces beneath them.